topic, right? On one hand, you've got this incredible promise of what it can do. On the other, some pretty serious risks. And right in the middle is this big search for a new kind of partnership between humans and machines. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at the big promise of AI. Then we'll meet the AI tutors themselves. We'll talk about where the human teacher fits in, tackle the really tough ethical questions, and finally, try to figure out how we can build a better future with all of this. All right, first up, the personalized promise. So why are we even talking about bringing AI into schools? Well, it all starts with a problem, a really big global one. And the scale of this problem is just staggering. Get this, UNESCO says 600 million kids worldwide are not even hitting the minimum skill levels in school. 600 million. You've got teacher shortages, overworked educators, and the result is that a massive number of students are just falling through the cracks. So what's the solution? Well, this is where AI comes in with a really powerful idea: personalized learning. Think about it. For centuries, the classroom has been this one-size-fits-all model. AI promises to flip that on its head, tailoring everything, the content, the speed, the style, to exactly what each individual student needs. Okay, that sounds great in theory, but what does this technology actually look like? It's time to meet the new generation of AI tutors. The core of this whole thing is something called an intelligent tutoring system, or ITS for short. You can basically think of it as software with a brain. It watches how you're doing, figures out exactly where you're getting stuck, and then changes the lesson in real time to help you out. Kind of like a personal digital tutor that's available 24/7. And chances are you've already used one of these without even thinking about it. That famous language app, Duolingo? Yep, that's a perfect example. It's using this exact kind of AI to customize every single lesson just for you, based on what you get right and what you get wrong. And this is where it gets really powerful, especially for specialized support. Look at an app like Alexa. It's designed as a dyslexia-friendly buddy. The AI reads text out loud, chops it up into smaller pieces, gives you definitions. It's all about making learning accessible for kids who might otherwise struggle. Okay, so the big question everyone always asks is, are robots coming to replace teachers? And the answer from pretty much every expert is a hard no. The goal isn't replacement, it's partnership. Yeah, it's not about replacement, it's about empowerment. I love this quote from a teacher, Sarah Hampton. She says, "I want the AI to help me really quickly and easily see what my student needs." That's it right there. It's a tool to give teachers superpowers. And here's the real magic of that partnership. The AI can take over all the grunt work. You know, the repetitive grading, the paperwork, all that stuff that eats up so much time. And that frees up the teacher to do the things a machine can never do: mentor, inspire, and build real human connections with their students. Now, for teachers to actually trust this partnership, they're saying two things are non-negotiable. See this chart? Algorithmic transparency and control over student data are at the very top. It makes sense, right? If you're going to use a tool with your students, you need to know how it makes decisions, and you absolutely have to be in charge of their private data. And that word, trust, is so important, because when this technology goes wrong, it can go really wrong. The consequences aren't just a bad grade. They can be devastating. Welcome to the ethical minefield. Let's take automated grading. The promise is a dream come true, perfectly objective grading, no human bias at all. But the peril? The reality is that these algorithms can be riddled with the very same biases they were supposed to eliminate, and sometimes they even make them worse. And this is not some far-off what-if scenario. This actually happened. In 2020, the UK rolled out an algorithm to assign A-level exam scores, and it caused a massive scandal. The AI was trained on past results, so it learned that kids from fancy private schools usually get higher scores. The result? It automatically downgraded the scores of smart kids from public schools, not based on their work, but on their zip code. Just wow. And that's just one example of the risks. Algorithmic bias is a huge one,
But you also have massive questions about student data privacy. I mean, who owns all this information? Then there's the risk of turning schools into surveillance zones, tracking every single thing a student does online. And a lot of these AI models are black boxes. We don't even know how they're making decisions. It's a lot to worry about.
So, with all these dangers, what do we do? Just give up on AI in schools? No. The consensus is that we need to be smarter about it. We have to build a future where the human is always at the center of the system. It's about shifting our thinking from AI as an automator to AI as a collaborator. And we're already seeing models for what this looks like. Take the best special system. It's a perfect example of responsible AI. It doesn't just spit out an answer. It takes in all sorts of human input, reports from doctors, interviews with the student, and then uses AI to suggest strategies. The teacher and the student are the ones who make the final call. This all points to a clear roadmap for doing AI right. It's pretty straightforward, really. The systems have to be safe. They have to protect against discrimination. They must protect student privacy. We need to know why they make a certain recommendation. And, this is the big one, a human always has to be in the loop, able to check the work and override the machine. The AI can suggest, but the human decides. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. AI is here, it's not going away. And the technology itself, well, it's just a tool. It has this incredible potential to help millions of students, but it also has the power to create huge problems if we're not careful. So the question we're left with is, what kind of classroom are we going to choose to build with it?